Villa Adriana, also known as Hadrian's Villa, was a grand estate in the town of Tivoli built by Emperor Hadrian in the early 2nd century AD. Hadrian was the successor of Trajan and ruled between 117 and 138 AD. He inherited the Roman Empire when it was at its greatest extent, so what better was there to do than travel and build grand infrastructure in villas? His time of rule was relatively peaceful, though he himself was known to have a temper. This 300-acre complex, an area almost twice the size of Pompeii, was constructed primarily as a vacation retreat from Rome, but later became Hadrian's permanent residence and the official seat of the government. There were two phases of intense construction. First, from 118 to 125 to build the retreat, and second from 128 to 134 in order to house himself, elected officials, servants, and workers. Hadrian lived to see the completed villa for only 4 years before he died of congestive heart failure. There are over 30 massive buildings in this complex. Today, we will focus on the two most recognizable, the Teatro Marittimo and the Canopus. The Teatro Marittimo, or Maritime Theater, is considered a villa inside the villa. As you enter, you will immediately notice a moat that encircles a small island containing the remains of rooms and a courtyard with porticos and a fountain. To cross the moat in Hadrian's day, one would have stepped over wooden drawbridges that could retract. Now we step over a cement bridge. The retractable bridges and a set of stairs leading into the water suggest the moat's used as a swimming pool, though only fish swim in here now. The island contains 35 defined spaces that alternate between a semicircular plan and a square plan, an innovative layout unique to Hadrian's villa. Since the island acted like a small residence, it must have provided all the necessary buildings for Hadrian's comfort. Such facilities include a reception room, a library, thermal baths with a frigidarium, 3 toilets, 2 bedrooms, and even an art gallery. Just inside the outer wall and surrounding the moat is a ring of 40 unfluted Ionic columns that would have supported a barrel-vaulted ceiling. Along the outer ring of the portico would have been marble friezes decorated with a marine theme, hence the name Maritime Theater. In these friezes, we see sea creatures and Greek gods riding the waves. This is what we see now, but imagine it in use. Notice the outer portico, wooden drawbridge, and welcoming courtyard. The size and northern orientation are almost identical to the Pantheon, also built by Hadrian, which leads researchers to believe that Hadrian himself designed the island. That's it for Maritime Theater. Next is the Canopus, a pool measuring 119 by 118 meters, built to remind Hadrian of the canal between two of his favorite Egyptian cities, Canopus and Alexandria. The northern edge of the pool boasts 2 Roman copies of Greek statues, one of Hermes and one of Eris. Additionally, there are 2 statues of wounded Amazonian warriors. Scholars believe that the eastern bank was lined with Corinthian columns, while the west bank was colonnaded with caryatids, as seen on the Acropolis at Athens, and Seleni, whose basket of fruit on top of their head replaces the capital. Additional sculptures found during excavation include river god interpretations of the Tiber, noted by the she-wolf, and the Nile, as noted by the Sphinx. As you approach the southern end of the pool, passing by the caryatids and the Seleni, you will notice a monumental, open, half-domed artificial grotto called the Serapeum. The Serapeum was composed of many different niches and rooms, some functional and some for decoration. It would have once been covered in white marble with occasional mosaic. Here, the emperor and his guests would dine in the cool evenings. They enjoyed the beautiful view of the Canopus to the sound of cascading water from the fountains behind. Here is a plastic model representation of the Canopus. Notice the eastern bank portico of Corinthian columns, western bank caryatids, and the magnificent Serapeum. That's it for Villa Adriana. Thanks for watching.